Good morning, everyone. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Guys, we're going to talk about the NATO bases in Europe that are currently and have been under attack for quite a while. Now, I've said this is coming, and I've highlighted the actual what would actually happen to these NATO bases, to civilian infrastructure, and I've been saying this for such a long time, guys. I did a top 10 video where I named the areas where I highlighted were a threat. I'm going to go from some articles that have been released recently. And guys, it seems like this has been suppressed. And like always, the devil's in the detail, the little things that they omit or the little things that they mention later on in the articles. But guys, if you've not done so already, please like this video and like my page. Also, share this with somebody who's, somebody who's telling you that, our water supply is not going to be sabotaged, that we don't have, gangs of foreign agents working in the United Kingdom or anywhere else, because I really did. I said, these things are coming to the United Kingdom. And I also said the threat is a lot higher in Europe. So the main two things that we're going to be focusing on today is the confirmed sabotage at a Norwegian airbase, and the alert state that was risen in, in an airbase in Germany. Now, I know there's been an incident in Germany over the last 24 hours where there's been a mass stabbing. I'm gonna cover that in another video. But for this video, I just want to concentrate on the sabotage and how this affects everyone. And it's kind of, it's a win. Well, it's a win-win for hostile nations when they're attacking us, when they're attacking NATO bases, and when they want to put fear into the civilian population. So what's been going on then? What's happened? Well, hang on. Sabotage confirmed at Norwegian airbase. A cable cut at the Norwegian airfield was announced amid fears sabotage as military bases and connecting concerning drone activity in Germany. So reports emerged today, this was yesterday, from the Barent Observer that a critical communications cable associated with the Evans Air Station in northern Norway has been severed. The incident occurred in April and was reported to the police, but has only now been announced as state prosecutors investigate what happened. So these things are clearly being hidden, they're being suppressed, nobody's talking about them. Remember earlier on this year when we had a load of fires and a load of blazes, I'd already warned about this happening, and people were saying, is this sabotage? Could this be sabotage? The reality is we don't know, but what we can see from this article is governments and authorities, they want to keep these things, they don't want to put these things out into the public because people become scared, people become worried, people will lose faith in the government's ability to protect people. Now, what I also said, well, the precise function of the cable has not been disclosed, but reports describe it as being part of the airbase's critical infrastructure, and that it was cut outside the airfield perimeter. So again, these things keep occurring, keep the recurring theme. You can have the most sophisticated airbase, it's got all the radars, it's got the missile defense system, it's got the most expensive aircraft known to man, it's got all this cool stuff. But it's vulnerable to one cable that lies outside the airbase's perimeter. And I've said for such a long time, you don't even need to go into these countries now. Hostile nations can do all this stuff online because there is I'm going to call it an army, because they have an army now of criminal actors inside these countries. There's criminal gangs who can be recruited online. You can transfer some money into a bank account. You can leave money in a briefcase. That's a little bit 1960s, isn't it? But you know what I'm saying. It's easy enough to pay people to go and do criminal acts. 9 times out of 10, these criminal gangs who are going to cut these cables, they won't know the significance of that cable. They won't know the significance of its location, what it operates. All they'll be told is, right, go to this location, there's an electricity cable, cut it, and then you get paid. That's all they know. Everybody has deniability. Whoever's funded this, they will 100% have deniability. The criminal gangs, if they get caught, they just say somebody paid us. They say, where's your evidence? They say, oh, it was online or an encrypted chat. Now it's deleted. The reality is these air bases that we have, you know, these sophisticated munitions systems, and you know, all this money we spend on our defense network, it's all relying on things that are not strong, that are very, very vulnerable. And I've said this for so many times. Now, the incident in the German airbase, this is NATO base evacuated. So this was on Thursday. NATO base evacuated after imminent attack warning. Alert raised to the second highest at the station in Germany, following unconfirmed tip-off by American intelligence. So NATO staff were instructed to leave the airbase in Germany after intelligence suggested attack could be imminent. Now, I don't know if this has got anything to do with the other attack that happened last night, but it looks like Germany had intelligence that an attack was imminent. The alert level was raised to the second highest level, codenamed Charlie, at the airbase in the town of, here we go, guys, Gilgenkirchen on Thursday evening. The military alliance described the move as a precautionary measure without giving further details. Non-essential staff were sent home, with NATO stating that the safety of our staff is the top priority. Hang on, guys, where are we? And then we go down a little bit, and it tells us somewhere, in fact, guys, where is it? I should have highlighted this. Right, it goes on here somewhere in this article, guys, and it talks about how earlier on in the right, so a week ago, the same base was closed off over fears that its water supply could have intentionally been contaminated. Guys, what have I been saying for the longest time? The biggest threat to us in the United Kingdom, the biggest threat to anyone, is our water supply. They are so vulnerable. These vulnerable chinks in armor, chinks in supply, chinks in, you know, the capacity to get water from point A to point B. None of these things are protected. And look at what we're seeing now in Europe, where I said it's a lot more vulnerable. We're seeing these things, again, hang on, I can't say they're deliberately targeted. What I'll say is, a week ago, the base was closed off because of fears that its water supply could have intentionally being contaminated. Now, I've said this for the longest time, guys. It's very easy to walk up to somebody's water supply and contaminate it. Just, you know, we don't do it because it's kind of a dick thing to do. But the reality is now, in these times of heightened tension, in these times of, you know, as people in the United Kingdom are putting it, in the pre-war phase. That's not me saying that. That's generals and people, you know, top brass in the UK MOD. We're in times of pre-war now. So all these targets, especially in the United Kingdom, and as we can see from these articles in Europe as well, they haven't just been identified. They've been identified and they have been targeted. So they're coming out with this now and they're telling us this could have been sabotage. What other incidents have there been that have just been kept under the carpet? What other incidents of, you know, like in the United Kingdom, fires in crucial places that have crucial equipment that we don't know of? You know, did these fires, you know, did they damage cables that ran somewhere else? Was this, you know, this leak of, cyanide into the water system? How did that happen? Because that's gone quiet all of a sudden. So guys, the message of this video is, look what's happening in Europe. They're having sabotage. I think we've had it already in the United Kingdom. It's just been kept quiet. And they are now targeting our water supply. Guys, I always harp on this channel. Make sure you've got yourself sufficient amounts of water. Go and get it from the supermarket. All right, you haven't got money. Fill it up out the tap while you can. Keep it in a dark, cool place. Make sure you've got water, because guys, I'm promising you, at some point our water supply is going to go off, and then there's going to be huge queues. Sorry, I'm talking American. You know, there's going to be huge queues outside the supermarkets, outside everywhere, to try and get water. Guys, it's coming. It's happening in Europe. Make sure you and your family are prepared, guys. You know, I can't harp on about this enough. You know, it costs virtually nothing to make sure you and your family have got enough water. But I can guarantee you, when the water goes off and your kids are saying, Mummy, Daddy, I'm thirsty and there's nothing to drink, it will be catastrophic. Guys, that is it for this video. I'm going to Magta Grid. Make sure you share this with somebody who's a naysayer and who says, you know, that these things are not happening, because they really are happening now in, you know, they're happening in Europe, you know, just as I said they would. Guys, that's it. I'm going to Magta Grid, and I'll speak to you guys later.